live with two scoops and the outlaw. Nobody's here yet, I know that. But if you guys, we'll wait till somebody gets in the chat room. Shit, why the fuck went crooked on me? Straighten it out. Let's see. Hopefully Brent tunes in right now. See what we get. See anyone calling in. See what's up.
Hello. This is Global Tel-Link. You have a prepaid call from
Brian.
An incarcerated individual.
Welcome. Friday Traffic live with Scoops and the Outlaw. Tim K, what's up, Tim K? Oh man, what an honor for you to be the first one. That's Brant. Tim, can you let me know if you hear us all right? Is the volume okay? And if you can hear specifically Brant. Tim K.
What's up, bud?
Yeah, Tim K is our first viewer. We got him on the line. Friday Traffic.
What's up, Tim K? Yeah. I said mine.
Oh no, we got 4 viewers. Welcome guys. Friday Traffic live with Scoops and the Outlaw. If you guys are from California, specifically Southern California, you know what traffic is like. So, we're just here if you're in traffic to just entertain you, shoot you some knowledge. I encourage you guys throughout the show, if the sound and audio doesn't sound good, specifically Brant, let us know.
Yeah, let us know, folks. What's up, everybody? What's up, Outlaw? Thanks for having me on your platform.
Yeah, so we got Barry Wood, Tim K, and we got Miggy Does It.
What's up, Barry Wood, man? I'm still wondering if this is old BW from SAC, man. I said mine.
No, he said he wasn't.
Tim K?
On our last live? Yeah, okay, on our last live he said he wasn't, but then he sends his respects. So you guys.
I said mine anyway, man. And Tim K, everybody, I said mine.
Can you guys hear Brant? And while you're at it, make sure you're hitting the like and sub if you haven't. And Miggy Does It. You're part of the Outlaw Posse. You're a junior outlaw, and you're technically a junior truth seeker of America too. Okay,
that's
they say
right.
We sound great. They sound great. You guys throughout the podcast, just let us know. I have the mic connected direct to the phone, so I don't have no fancy gadgets or nothing like that. But just let me know, if it gets weird or something like that. And I'm gonna let Brant talk for a little bit, greet you guys, and tell you how he's doing.
Okay. What's up, man? What's up, everybody? I send my best to you guys, man. I got a channel, Solid Behind Blue Eyes. Check it out. Subscribe to Outlaw, and check us out, man. We keep it real, I just been kicking back, watching all the bullshit unfold in this dumbass CDCR corrupt prison machine, Other than that, what's cracking, Outlaw? How's everybody doing out there, man?
Miss D's in the house.
What's up, baby girl? I said mine. I know where you live.
I was talking to Scoops earlier before we went live, and he was asking me what I was doing today, and I'm making dinner. I'm making fish tacos today, and since we're on the subject, I'm going to ask you guys just until we get a little bit more people in here, just to kind of warm things up, And I decided to make fish tacos from this place that fries your fish for you, seasons it, fries it, everything. So I'm going to prepare it. I'm going to cut up the cabbage, the onions, the chili, all that stuff. We got homemade chili, all that ready. But I didn't want to make it because of Good Friday. I just wanted fish, and I was in the mood for fish tacos, and everyone likes fish tacos here at my house. And I'm curious, you guys, am I the only one that thinks that not eating meat and eating fish, or I think chicken you're allowed to eat, but if not eating meat on Friday is somehow going to change the world? Like, what does that really do? I mean, could we use our communal energy to probably do something consciously better to better our community?
Oh, that's funny. No, I never tripped on that, bud.
Where'd you take your kids to? I think it was Miggy Does It. Where'd you take your kids to? I have it on vertical, so the comments kind of disappear as it's going. I don't know. One of our commenters said something about that he took his kids to some, I think the science center. Miss D says
Oh, okay.
religion are evil and stupid. Yes, I agree, Miss D. If you guys agree that
That's right.
organized religion is actually does more to divide than unify the society, let me know in the comment section. But yeah, what do you think
Like
about that,
Jesse the
Brent?
Body, I believe the same, man. Jesse the Body Ventura, I said it the best. Religion are for mush brains.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I totally 100% agree. I see everyone with like this whole unified ideology that hey, let's not eat meat on Friday and go eat. And I work at a restaurant and I we sell more fish on this season Lent. We already know we double up on shrimp, fish, and all our stuff because it sells more. And I think it's ridiculous that we could probably do more if we concentrated our energy and focused on something more positive and constructive than eating fish on Friday and not meat. That's just crazy.
That's funny. That's funny, man. I eat it any day of the week. I ain't even tripping.
Now I believe
Bring it.
now
As
am I
long as it ain't, as long as it ain't the pita protein.
oh that pita protein. Before you let us know what that pita protein is, am I pronouncing it right? Xanarex? Isn't that one of your the guys that goes on your platform? Or Xan?
Yeah, Xanax,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
He just said what's up.
What's up, Xanax?
Yes, we should see like on this. Now tell about the
Oh, that's great. It's supposed to be a protein. It, it looks like garbage. Nasty shit. And tastes like garbage. Man, I eat it's supposed to be.
How about there? Can you guys hear us now? Or at least me. I'll just use the mic off the phone. Can you guys? Does it sound better now?
Did y'all hear us, baby girl? Somebody say something.
Tim K said there was no sound.
Oh, wow. I don't know what's up, bud.
Okay. We'll see right now. Yeah, yeah, it just sounds muffled. Now, okay, you guys can hear us now, right? Or it sounds muffled? PNG Media News. Hey, how do we sound? Can you hear us all right? I hear you, okay? You hear us pretty good? It's not much. Yes, better. Not great, but better. Is it both of us or just me and Brant?
This call and/or telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Sound is good? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hear you both, okay?
What about now? Can you hear me good too? Y'all hear me or what?
Can you guys hear Brant good? I mean, that's not a problem. I could always raise you higher if I need to. Sorry, guys, about all the confusion. Yeah. How weird. We hear you, but it's not as good as before. Okay, okay, guys. Give me a second, and I will fix that problem. All this technology, guys. All this bullshit technology, and watch what we're gonna use to fix this. A simple little lightning thing that I rigged up so it doesn't bend, and a fucking nice. Let's see. Okay. Well, how do we sound now? Is that a little better?
What's up? How about now? Y'all hear me?
That quality a little better? Instead of just a regular iPhone, especially a fucking iPhone 11, I think it is. I don't have the new iPhones.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't believe in all that techie shit. I ride it, the wheels fall off, brother.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do. Shit.
So I haven't got a comment. You guys can hear us, right? Is this quality a little better? I mean, before we continue rambling, like last time where we rambled off for like 10 minutes and didn't realize we were off.
I know, man.
That was crazy. I don't know. No one's leaving a comment. I'm curious. Can you guys not hear us? Volume is on.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. Thumbs up. They can hear us. The quality a little better. Specifically, Bryant. Talk, Bryant.
What? Can you guys hear us? Give us a thumbs up if you can hear me, man.
We can hear you. All right.
Yeah,
cool.
Let me know.
Cool. All right. Yeah, they said they could hear us better. Okay, so
All right.
Where did we leave off?
Let's get this rolling.
Oh, were we talking about the fish, right? Eating fish on Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we moved on from that one.
Sounds crispy now, huh?
Let's get into this one, bro.
Do we both sound crispy, or is it just Brant? Let me... Damn, do you guys see the dog? He just walked in. Plumped himself in. My dog just walked in front of the camera and is plumped in, staring at the Playboy magazine.
Oh, shit. Yeah, he's checking out the Playboy magazine. Oh, shit.
Miss D, Miss D, you see my boy? One of my boys? Say hi, Rocky. Say hi, Rocky.
That's right.
Yeah, he's
Baby girl, you guys can hear me good enough?
Yeah, she said she could hear us. Okay. So with that said, guys, let me see if I could adjust it. Just so adjust it so you can hear Bran a little better. Yep, okay, they can hear us. Okay, good. They said a little crispy, but
okay.
I guess we can work with that. You guys saw what I plugged in. Man, I fucking just bought this other mic. Okay, guys, so we're gonna start today, I guess, we're gonna talk about the deportation of so-called validated gang members to El Salvador. Are you guys familiar with that? Have you guys heard about how the Trump is using an old law from like the 1700, from 17 something, or I think the Enemies Act law, something like that, guys. And he's allegedly already deported 200 gang members. You're familiar with that, Brent, right?
Yeah. Yep.
What have you heard?
Yep. I heard that they deported like about 182
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Oh, fuck.
to El Salvador. Let me call back, man.
He'll call us back right now. If we get going and he has to fucking cut off. Damn, we've been on 15 minutes. We had 15 minutes of problems. How many of you guys see that Playboy magazine in the visuals? You guys wondering why I have an issue with Playboy showing? Give me a thumbs up if you like it. Miss D, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I have, but there's a reason why I'm showing it, and I'll explain it in a little bit. Or I guess maybe I can kind of explain while we wait for Brant. That Playboy issue right there is actually a Playboy that I have on my wall in my little man cave, and it's from 1970. Let me repeat that. It's a Playboy issue from 1970, and there's a 3-page expose in which they interview a former U.S. attorney for 2 sitting presidents, and they ask him specifically to speak on the topic of prisons, specifically and how they're failing, and specifically rehabilitation. So I just had that in there to show you guys that where your boy the outlaw goes and gathers information from, that I don't just read Boxer Enriquez's book or any of these little mainstream media outlets for information. That I actually search for information in things like this by reading a Playboy. Oh, excuse me, Brent. By reading a 1970s article from Playboy that is talking about prisons, and specifically interviews the articles written by a former U.S. attorney, Ramsey Clark. If you Google it, this guy comes from a long line of. His dad was like a Supreme Court justice. All his uncles were lawyers. This dude knows the law. He comes from a lawyer family. And he was the U.S. attorney for 2 sitting presidents, John F. Kennedy and Lyndon Baines Johnson. So I just want you guys to know where I get my information from. I don't just ramble with nonsense. Okay, now go on. Tell us what you were telling us about the deportation, Brant.
Oh, just that, from what I've seen and what I heard is that they deported a bunch of them MS-13, and it's in El Salvador, and I think they're still making them pay some type of punishment debt to the United States.
Yes.
But what I say is, if you're going to do all that, why not just send them back to where they came from and save the taxpayer dollars? Why keep paying for them to be locked up?
Exactly.
That's my take on it.
I mean, and like I was telling you off air, what do you think about the fact that allegedly a portion of those individuals are Venezuelan gang members, and how they're actually deporting individuals from other countries into a foreign country that's possibly hostile to them? I mean,
right.
How do you guys think if that would happen to an American in another country who has validated a gang member, and instead of deporting them back to the U.S., is deported to a country that might be hostile to Americans? Tell us, Brian, what do you think?
You know, that's definitely a touchy subject with how the national law goes and the international law. I mean, that's like, they deport me somewhere, I'd be a pissed off motherfucker. I know that. But the goddamn American prisons suck. You know, I wouldn't mind going to Norway.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's funny is that I'm a dark-skinned Latino. And I mean I'm an American citizen. I'm first generation born here in America, and I often joke with my coworkers, like, when the immigration came, and especially the way I'm dressed for work, they would probably want to deport me, thinking like I'm born in East LA and want to deport me. I go, but I'm not stupid. I'm gonna go see the world on American taxpayers. I'm gonna say I'm Jamaican. I'm gonna go to Jamaica, smoke me some Jamaican weed, and then when they deport me from there, I'm gonna say that I'm from Cuba or the Dominican Republic until they finally realize I'm Mexican.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, I mean, have you seen Born in LA, that Cheech Marin movie?
Yeah.
The The one where
Oh
you ask
yeah.
him who's the president of the United States, and he says John Wayne.
Yeah. That's an all-time. That movie's timeless, man. That's
Yeah,
like one of the best movies ever made, man.
exactly. I always tell my coworkers at work, again, if I was ever falsely deported, that I would get a job teaching how to Americanize the guys so when they come over here, they wouldn't they wouldn't be stand out in America. You know what I mean? They'd simulate like East LA, how he teaches them to be gangsters.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I go to work
Makes
and I'll
sense.
tell the guys like, hey, I'm gonna teach you the word of the day. What's up, fool? I'll be like, that's how you greet somebody.
What's up,
I
fool?
go, instead of saying orale
Mhm.
way, you say what's up, fool. And then I'll
Hell
be like,
yeah.
and then I'll be like, instead of "qué onda," you say what's up, fool.
Yeah.
And then
Hell yeah.
I teach them the difference. I'll be like, when you meet a Mexican or another Latino that's from the East Coast, you got to tell them West Coast paisa. I show them
West Coast
yeah,
Bison.
how to twist their four fingers up, two in the middle to throw the west side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
That's
crack
funny,
jokes.
man.
I crack jokes, bro. I crack jokes with them at work. I mean, 'cause like I
Hell
said,
yeah.
you know, what I mean, I'm a dark skinned Latino, and I can see the way I'm dressed sometimes, and my hair not combed and shit. Or someone might confuse me and say, hey, just deport this guy. Or maybe just my mouth will get me deported. Cause I am gonna get
Hell
offended.
yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna get a hell of offended if you ask me for my fucking citizenship.
Let me see that green card, huh?
And I'll be like, green card. I'll be like, I don't even carry my ID, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Crazy, bro.
right. I drink Budweiser and smoke weed and eat hamburgers. I'm a straight American, motherfucker.
Yeah, what's funny is I tell the guys at work I don't smoke that Mexican dirt weed.
Hell no. It's got to be the crime.
Yeah, I go, I
Super
don't smoke
green.
that. I go, I smoke that Chapo OG. And then they laugh. I tell them all the time. There's a real strand called Chapo OG.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Hell yeah.
no, Miss D says no one does anymore. Remember skunk weed?
Oh.
Oh, skunk weed was the
Mhm.
shit, man. I remember the first time smoking skunk weed. I mean, to this day, I look for my weed to have that stinky odor. I mean, I love the smell of a skunk. Who loves the smell of a
Hell
skunk when
yeah.
they drive by it? A dead skunk. Does that smell just not remind
Mm.
you of the best weed ever?
Mhm. Hell yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so while I have you back and before you cut off in I think another 7 minutes, I was telling them about that article that I have, this Playboy magazine article that's showing in the visuals, and I told them it's from written by
Right.
former U.S. Attorney Ramsey Clark, in which he outlines how the U.S. and California prison system is failing, and how rehabilitation is failing, and specifically how prisons are actually creating the criminality instead of rehabilitating it. And it just every time I read
Right.
articles like this, word for word, it's stuff that you or Ronnie repeatedly say on your videos.
Right. Right. Well, you gotta look at, okay, like what we were talking about earlier. Look at the rise in violence, right? And look at this. Look at this. Uh. Uh. So look at the SMYs, right? Now, that's where your rise in violence is coming from. 90% of it, and that's not coming from me. I'm not saying 90%. That's coming from their own staff. And so, I was talking with this chick cop today that brought me in from York. Said most of the violence on staff is coming from SNY yards. In fact, there was recently another one in Tehachapi. I guess one of them got hurt. The cop got hurt down there from a SNY. And in like 6 or 7 days, that's like 7 or 8 different cops getting fucked up by the SNYs. But they're not trying to tell you guys that, right? No, they're not trying to tell you that, oh, this is coming from that side of the fence. because they want to blame us for it, and we got nothing to do with them fucking dirt, them fucking shit stains in grandma's boxers.
No,
You know?
may I interrupt you for a second?
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to point out to our viewers that if you guys are familiar with Mundo Mendoza and Bach, the rapist Enriquez, they repeatedly, if you pay attention on any of their content, they'll tell you that there's a no hands policy on prison staff. That it's actually something that's encouraged and promoted amongst the heavy hitters. That they should be no assault on prison
What's
staff.
call
Retaliation
and
that
recorded.
one would get received from doing such an action, right?
Right, exactly.
So I just
like I said, man, you're not gonna have a lot of that staff assault on GP.
and if it
It's
does,
just not happening.
and if it does happen, it's I don't want to say it's justified, but it's usually after some serious act of disrespect. That usually some sort of civil would be considered something that you could file legally, right, as a civil lawsuit, right?
Right. I mean, I can't really say all of it, but I know when it does happen, it's pretty much caused by staff in some sort of way. Like the one at Pelican Bay in 2017, I believe. Two dudes were fighting. It was broken up. Staff slammed one of them, and then kept kicking him in his head. Okay, now what do you think's gonna happen with the dude's homeboys while he's on the ground, and the staff members kept kicking him in his fucking head and face, right? And that's not called for. That's not called for. Well, his homeboys jumped up and got the staff up off of him and beat his ass. And then all the staff rushed in, and then the other homies jumped up and got their ass. All over one's actions of kicking a man in his face when he's down, it's over, and he just kept doing it. So, like that. It's usually being provoked or disrespect or something very serious.
Yes. Now, let's ask our viewers: what would you do if you were part of a close-knit group of friends? One of those individuals gets severely beaten by somebody. Would you feel your not only your civil duty to defend somebody that's being innocently beaten, but an honor amongst your group? They're like, hey, we can't let the homie go out like that. That's not right. You guys,
Right.
yeah.
I know this, Outlaw. If I'm out there walking my wife somewhere in a fucking store, and I get into a fight and I'm down on the ground, and the cops are just repeatedly stomping the back of my head into the ground, to my stomping my face in, my wife ain't gonna accept that at all. And my wife ain't gonna accept that. My homeboy damn sure better not accept that. So, it's provoked, man. It's provoked violence by cops, point blank, period. Especially on the GP. And now, I'm not talking about the S&Ys, because them fucking willy-nillys with brain atrophy, they do shit off the cuff. Just because, whatever. They just do it because the TV cop on TV was giving them the stink eye or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Now, let's see. Now, talking about that subject with all this violence is happening. Now, I know you watch Hector Bravo's channel, and I know the viewers that here watch Hector Bravo. And I told you off air that Hector Bravo had put on his community post that put a little meme of Jeff McCumber, in which it's a picture of the California model, and he's ridiculing it, saying that it's failed. And
Right.
I had mentioned to you that a picture's worth 1,000 words, and I thought by just looking at that picture, when he's saying the California model has failed, he's essentially saying that SNY is failing because, correct me if I'm wrong, Brant, is there any California model being applied on any general population?
No, California model's only been employed on S&Y yards. Two of them. Two different prisons. Now, here at New Folsom, they're trying it out on a level 4 S&Y EOP JCAT unit. So, you know, I mean, come on, man. Come on now.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Them dudes ain't taking advantage of that and trying to get real rehabilitation.
No.
You know? Let me call back, bud.
And that's no fault of their own. That's no fault. Guys, it's as real as it gets. Did you guys hear that noise in the background? That's, I believe my neighbor's trying to start up his mower. So, I mean, the Outlaw is as real and raw as it gets. Not no soundproof bat studio, right? CDC or law enforcement isn't paying me to have all this high-tech equipment in this fancy snitch lair to fucking spread gossip. But here, guys, I want to show you guys something. This is like a little resistance bands that I'm using to give myself my forearms an exercise right now. And I just want to point out that you can exercise anywhere you go. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to say I don't have time and then, I don't exercise because there's no time. There's always a time and a place. I'm conducting an interview and I'm getting my forearms a workout. I'm going to do 5 minutes on one side, 5 minutes on the other side, and then I'm going to use my resistance bands to do some hip thrusts while I sit here talking to you guys. So there's always time to work out. No excuses. Now go on, Brant. Tell us what you were talking about.
Oh, this the rehabilitation of the California model, man. So California model is in Valley State Prison, level 2, level 3, and San Quentin, level 2, level 3. And that's it. Well, here, New Folsom CSP SAC A yard, SNY, level 4, EOP shit. They're trying a pilot program of one unit for the California model. And if you listen to that dude Gonzalez on that video, that Hector, all these clowns, he's saying, oh, well, they can get their own toilet paper now and soap. They can dole it out to themselves now. And that's a lie because on any main line in prison, it's the porters, it's the tier tenders that give you toilet paper and soap. Cops don't pass that shit out. They have the prisoner go get it, put the box of toilet paper on a mop bucket, push it down the tier, and set 2 rolls of toilet paper in front of every door with a bar of soap on them. That's it. Ain't nothing changed, but, again, that's all targeted for S&Ys, man. We're not trying to do shit for GPs, man.
Yep, for sure. Miss D mentioned something right now that recording is on a CDCR podcast. Now, I've mentioned, right, I am a conspiracy theorist, and I have told you that CDCR is operating on SNY, an audio podcasting program, and where they're grooming individuals to run podcasts. And it's only confirmed because CDCR has their own podcast, too.
Right. Absolutely. Yep.
And to be in all honesty, I would rather listen to CDCR's podcast than fucking some snitch tuber.
Well, yeah, because the snitch tuber is just saying some regurgitated shit that the CDCR told him to say. Why not go to the horse's mouth?
Yeah.
Right?
And take out the taco sauce. You're still being lied. You're being lied to, but it doesn't have no taco sauce. It doesn't. You're not going to hear about millions of dollars stuffed in prisoner cells in their pillows, and how their public inmate accounts, right, have multi-million dollars of money that's never been found, like a leprechaun's pot of gold.
Yeah, right. Exactly, man. Exactly.
Now, we got 6 viewers. We should get at least 6 likes. Come on, guys. Friday traffic with Outlaw. When you hit a stop sign, hit the fucking like and then go back. Don't fucking, don't type. Don't text. Don't type while you're driving
hit the light.
at a
So,
stop sign. Come on, guys.
I was gonna hey, although I got this funny text today, right? I mean, funny ass comment. Somebody said, "I guess old Powder wanted to be my celly." I guess he tried to sell it with me according to what he's telling the world, right? Or somebody saying it. Yeah, that shit cracked me up so much. And whoever said it, I think you probably know better. Because I would love to be that guy at Sally, man. We'd have a cup of coffee and a real good talk. You know what I'm saying?
The stories he would tell you, bro. He'd tell you some.
He would tell me some stories. I know. I ain't got nothing to say. But I'll let him talk. I just, what's funny is, a lot of people hear that shit and run with it, and I just like, oh God, that's so funny. Because I've never been in the same prison with the dude. I don't know what the dude looks like. If he was in any prison with me, maybe at a different time, we were in this prison at, I don't know the dude, but I've never had an opportunity to sell up with the dude. I would have took it, That would have been an excellent thing, man.
This fucking
character. I could
character.
have really gave him some old fashioned schooling, Yeah, real good old schooling, man.
Yeah, fool.
But I'll leave that there.
You guys a fucking nutball. One of our viewers asked. Somebody asked about Ronnie on the telephone. So if you can post that comment again, so I can read it. It pops up and it erases. Unlike when I have it horizontal, I have my phone vertical, so it doesn't keep the messages there. But another individual asked if there's a way that we could expose the snitch influencers and how they're being funded by CDCR.
Yeah, we can expose them. We've been exposing them fucking weirdos. They're all fucking garbage.
Well, no, they said they want to know if there's a way we can, or if there's any way we can expose how they're being funded, and I think with time, it's gonna come out that they're being funded because, like I told you guys, I know for a fact, and it stated in a lawsuit that's against that girl Lima that was on Soft White Underbelly, that there's a production company called Wonderland Productions that's involved with Soft White Underbelly and the podcast that the girl Lima is running. And I know for a fact that Police and Fire Publishing has a production company and they're directly involved with it. The guy who does the voice for it now on Police and Fire Publishing, I believe, is the son of Chris Bollinger. A FOIA request, yeah. But I don't know how we can. Well, I don't think CDCR or anyone would admit that money is being funneled to pay for their podcast. I honestly think this is like, kind of like an off the books type of thing, some sort of black ops is what I truly think. You know what I mean? Hector Bravo, yeah. I mean, Hector Bravo, if we somehow can get a hold of his fucking tax forms, I'm sure it would show that he's still getting direct money from CDCR. But I mean, I've done it.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I've done it before. I have a clip, and I still have a clip of Flacco, where Flacco admits that he gets direct information from IGI.
Right, I heard that.
Cinemills TV sounds like a straight cop. They all are. They're Vlad TV,
yeah.
No Jumper, all those dudes. Yeah, there's definitely somebody behind them because, like Soft White Underbelly. Oh man, Soft White Underbelly. No Jumper, Cinemills, Vlad TV. These guys interview high level informants. Guys, you cannot get a hold of a high level informant. You have to go through law enforcement. And law enforcement is not going to give any Tom, Dick, and Harry journalists access to these guys. Only a guy that's going to help them spew the nonsense they want spewed. Their interviews have to be approved before they're able to do the interview from law enforcement. also, the answers that are going to be replied by these influencers are pre-approved. These guys are bought and paid for puppets. They sign a contract to inform with law enforcement, and that means that they're no longer allowed to give public speaking. They can't talk publicly unless it's prior authorized by law enforcement, specifically their handlers. They can't just do that. So all these guys are interviewing Sammy the Bull Gravano, Mundo, Boxer, and all these dudes. You cannot just go and call these guys or email them or anything like that. It doesn't work like that, bro.
Well, they're in WITSEC, number one. Those guys right there, they're in witness protection program, and they got handlers. They got a handler, and there's no way you can close to them dudes. No way. And in fact, if they ever do, they'll call 911 on you.
Yep. Brent, are you familiar with the individual? I believe I want to say his name is Daniel Dietrich. I think it is, or is it? Or no, it might be the other guy. But the guy that committed the salon shooting in Orange County, like a mass. It's a mass shooting. It's a guy that had a disgruntled thing on a divorce and went and shot his wife's salon, and it was in Orange County in like Seal Beach, and killed like 5 people. And then I believe there's another guy.
No.
Yeah, you're familiar with the Orange County snitch scandal, right?
Yeah, I'm familiar with the Orange County jail snitch scandal. Yep.
Okay, well that's one of those cases that helped expose it. And what's interesting, when you look in the paperwork, which I spent about 2 weeks reading, they talk about the show Lockup NBC, and they talk about specifically how every episode in Lockup NBC has to be pre-approved by the prison staff at that prison, and that they're there at the request of the prison most of the time. And if you watch every single episode of Lockup Raw, and the prisons they go to are prisons that were rocked prior to them filming with some sort of scandal, and they use that channel and show as a PR in order to sell themselves as prisoners bad and staff is good.
Right.
And it's in the paperwork.
Right.
It's in the paperwork of the snitch scandal. I spent like 2 weeks of sleepless nights reading that shit.
Right.
And also,
yeah,
go on.
Go ahead.
I was
saying, I seen a couple of them episodes Lock Up, and it's kind of funny, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Now, since we're on the topic of these gang-themed TV channels and whatnot, tell us what you think about the way whites are portrayed in gang movies, specifically American Me and Blood In, Blood Out.
It's Hollywood eyes, man. It's all fake, you know. I just, I don't like it. It's garbage. The way they do it on movies, it's just for entertainment. They try to they'll get somebody like Boxer or La Man Torta, and they'll fucking make them pump all this up with this homosexuality shit going down. And look, man, if that's your thing, that's your thing, man. But it doesn't happen on main lines, with people of integrity. The homosexual shit, that's all on PCS and YRs, man. And I don't like that, man. I don't like that. I don't agree with it. The American Me movie, Blood In, Blood Out. It's just all Hollywood. That's not real prison. That's not real prison. So, I know when I was a kid, I watched American Me. I think I was like 16 years old, man. And I used to go fishing right here up by Folsom Prison when they had the salmon run in the American River. And we would fish right there. And if you look off in the distance, you can see the wall. The old granite Folsom wall. And I used to tell my homeboy, we'd be like, man, I told him I watched that movie, American Me. I ain't going over there. Motherfucker get fucked in his ass over there. And he's like, oh, hell no. But we were kids. We didn't know no better. We watched this movie, and it wasn't a good movie. But living in prison the last 30 years on level 4 yards, GP 180s, and in the shoe. That's not how real prison is. Maybe on these SNY yards, not no GP, man. So that's my take, you know.
Now, have you ever seen Blood In, Blood Out?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yep.
Okay.
I mean, like stuff like that happens. Some like they'll take some factual events in the past and create a movie out of it or a story, and you know, and put a whole bunch of salsa on the taco.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
That's how they do it, bro. That's how they do it, man. But
yeah.
it's a lot of it's hype, man. Let me call back.
Yeah, call back. I wonder if he heard on my live yesterday when I talked about how American Me and Blood In, Blood Out, it's the same script. The same script was written by Floyd Murtaugh in 1973, and both Taylor Hackford and Edward James Olmos both bought the rights. Actually, Taylor Hackford bought the rights first to make Blood In, Blood Out first, and Olmos was brought in as a technical advisor. But Olmos is the one who brought all the people, and they had a falling out, and Edward James Olmos broke off and started doing his own project, American Me. But the original script was written in 1973. So I wonder if you heard that. I'm going to ask him right now. How many of you guys know that Edward James Olmos is a technical advisor on Blood In, Blood Out before making American Me?
Alright.
This is all shit you're going to hear on this platform. You're not going to hear this on fucking from Boxer or Mundo. You're only going to hear that shit from me. And that shit is true. I was going to ask you, Brent, on my live yesterday, if you caught where I was talking about how American Me and Blood In, Blood Out, I don't think I mentioned it, are both those movies were created off the original screenplay that was written in 1973 by Floyd Murtaugh, one of the advisors on both the movies. And he wrote the movie in 1973. Did you hear that yesterday on my live?
Yeah, I caught it. Yeah.
Yeah. And did you hear how I told you that the original script, which I'm gonna do my best before the day I die, somehow I'm gonna get it or a copy of it or at least read it. The original script was actually about how the Chicano prisoners at that time in the late and early 70s were actually transforming from a criminal mentality into a politicized mentality. But when Edward James Olmos and Taylor Hackford both got the movies at the behest of CDCR, pretty much chopped all that shit out of the movie and made the fabulous, over-glorified gang recruitment movie that we know today.
Right. They did that shit. You know, they just, I don't know, man. That's just all Hollywood. It's all Hollywood, man. You know?
Yeah.
And my say is that if you guys are gonna watch that stuff, just remember, prison is not like that. Real prison is not like that at all. So just keep that in mind.
Now, can I ask you, Brent? Do you now, seeing as it, I mean, you're a little older than me, but you saw the movies, and you obviously were around people that slight older than me. Did you think those movies, and we'll throw in Colors too? You seen Colors before?
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Do you think those movies actually made a negative social impact on society, specifically the urban community?
I would say so. Yeah, absolutely. Because you get these bubblegum gangsters, they think that they're gangsters on the streets and shit, and gangbanging is only gonna lead to two paths: death or prison. You know, and they try to sensationalize it, man, and glorify it, and it's just not. That's not what it. The real gangster shit is nowadays. It's not the cops and robbers no more. It's the cops and cops, and it ain't. I don't know. My take on it, because I've been down for 30 years, right? Times change. I guess gangbanging evolves, right? For the youngsters, I just, I guess they take their gangbanging to Instagram and start gangbanging on each other and having YouTube wars like these dudes do. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, bro. I mean, even in Blood In, Blood Out, they
This
showed
call
Miklo
and your
working with the
telephone
cops,
number
and
will be
people still
monitored and
thought he was cool.
recorded.
Yep. See? Yep. Yep. What do you think about that? How in the movie Blood In, Blood Out, at the last scene, they show Miklo saying that he's willing to work and cooperate with law enforcement.
That's foul.
Ah, bro.
That's foul right there. That's what they wanted. That's what they want the public to fucking think, man. That's how they want the public to see it.
But what do I always tell?
Really?
What do I tell you guys? These gangster movies always subconsciously glorify snitches. Go back to every
Yeah.
favorite gangster movie that you've ever watched, except for I think for The Godfather. But you watch them all; they're all was written by Floyd Murtaugh and Desmond. Yeah, yes he was. Yes he was. I believe. The guy, an Asian guy. It was two guys. Yeah, it was two guys that wrote the original script for those movies. And how many of you guys know that Taylor Hackford is the guy who directed Walking Tall? Have you ever seen Walking Tall? I think it's from like 78 or 79.
Yeah, I seen it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He for all you gangster movie buffs that watch Colors, that watched American Me, Blood In, Blood Out, and I think just about every gangster movie, if you haven't watched Walking Tall, it's a must movie you watch, because every gangster, every cholo gangster that's been on every hood movie is on that one movie, and they're like 21, 22.
Yeah.
They're like teenagers, I think.
They're youngsters.
Yeah, Frog from Colors is on there. I'm trying to think of fucking who else is on there? The Mundo, the guy who plays Mundo from American Me is on there too. I think the guy who plays Popeye on Blood In, Blood Out, or no. Is it? No, not Popeye. They're pretty much all there. I can't sit here and say, oh yeah, Buford Fuser. I love how the main character on that Walking Tall, when he realizes that he's not even Mexican, that he's white. That's so hilarious. He was named after Emilio Zapata, in his entire life, huh? He thought he was like this proud Mexican, only to realize that he was white.
That's funny.
Crazy. Yeah, bro. So I agree. How many of you guys in the chat? Not that we have like 4 people. Agree that movies like Colors, American Me, and Blood In, Blood Out made a serious negative impact on society, and that they were intentionally made. Because I like the fact that you coined that term, bubblegum gangster, because according to gang historians, the Crips and the Bloods didn't exist other than California, and specifically Los Angeles, till after the making of Friday, to after the making of Colors, and then all of a sudden the Crips and Bloods became national and started popping up in Wisconsin, Nebraska, Florida, New York. All of a sudden, everyone wanted to be a Blood and Crip.
Wow,
and
that's crazy.
I actually think those bubblegum gangsters are actually scarier than real gangsters, because a real gangster usually has codes of conduct, morals, and a limit on to what his gangsterism is willing to do. But I think like these bubblegum gangsters are basically schooled from watching these hood movies and gangster rap, that they go and do these fucking crazy drive-bys with AKs and go shoot up a house where they end up hitting a kid and do all this buck wild crazy, like, oh, I seen Juice and he goes and robs and kills the guy at the liquor store, so I'm gonna be an OG like fucking Tupac and go kill some guy, like that's not gangster, that's some fucking future J-Cat shit. The Usual Suspects.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep. Miss D mentions The Usual Suspects, and that her favorite hood movie is Friday. What's your guys' favorite hood movie?
Yeah. I like Friday. That's funny.
Friday. I like the original Friday.
You
I
got knocked the fuck out.
have you ever seen Friday Part 2?
Yeah, I seen part 2 and part 3. Part 2 is where they got that little doll, little cholo,
Yeah.
little cholo doll.
I
The
always
fucking Spud McKenzie doll.
yeah, the Mac. The
Yeah.
Mac. Someone put the Mac. Tim K put the Mac.
The Mac.
The
There you
Mac.
go. That's a good one.
Has anyone seen The Wanderers?
Yeah, I like fighting, man. Who?
The Wanderers.
No, I haven't seen that one.
The Wanderers is a dope ass movie. It's about the New York gangs, how they have like a rivalry, the Italians and the blacks, and in the end, the blacks and Italians unite, fighting against like this other like crazy gang. But it's a cool movie. It's a really good movie. Kind of like reminds you of like The Outsiders. You seen The Outsiders?
Oh yeah. See, Outsider is badass.
Fuck
I mean,
yeah,
you
bro.
haven't seen The Outsiders, man. That's just un-American.
Yeah. The Outsiders is like the dopest shit right there. The Warriors, hell yeah. The Wanderers, PNG. The Wanderers is coming. Yeah, it is a coming of. Yeah, yes it is. Yes it is. What other ones is there? I asked the question and no one answered it. I asked people if anyone's ever seen "Don't Bury Me Alive." It's a 1972 movie, and I know you guys haven't. But it's actually considered the first major Latino hood theme movie, which is about a guy who I believe he comes back from Vietnam, and after Vietnam he kind of gets involved with drinking and drugs, and he ends up getting arrested on some bullshit, and he like has resentment for fucking authority in the system, and basically how the system fucks you over. You know, you could relate to that, Brant.
Yep, absolutely.
We got people.
It's still fucking me over.
Yep. We got people mentioning the movie Gotti. Wow.
Yep. Yeah, no, I tell you this, man. Being a gangster is overrated nowadays, man. It's just played out.
I think
you're going to prison, or you going to end up dead. One or the other.
I think it's always been played out. I think it's just been glamorized to the point to where it's embedded in, to the youth. I mean, the Cable Guy, the Cable Guy coined a perfect thing where they called the TV baby. Now we have the social media baby.
Yeah.
Which they're groomed.
Oh yeah, right. Social media.
Social media. They're groomed that's all they know. There was somebody mentioned The Felon and Shot Callers, but I think those are movies you've never seen, huh?
No, I've seen Felon. I haven't seen Shot Caller. Felon is a depiction of Corcoran's shoe back in the setup fights, right? Yeah. And it got it real close. That's exactly how it went, right? I mean, with Val Kilmer, he played that part very well. And the way that movie, I would say that movie was like about 95% factual on the events and how it was done and took place. Yes. I watched it in Spanish right here in New City. Yep.
I like Felon.
Yep.
Some Hurricane. No PNG. I've never read the books. Oh shit, our power's low. I've never read the books, but I am gonna look into that. Whoa. We got to figure out how to do this here. Okay, I think we can. We got 20%. Oh, we'll stay on for a little bit longer. We're at 20%, so we can soon as we'll be the social media anonymous group. Yeah, there will be a social media anonymous group. Yeah. Funny. Look. Yeah. Go on.
Oh no! I was just saying that Felon movie. Again, that was a lot of them cops that were busted in that thing right there. There was like eight of them. But what they did was disperse them up the high desert. And that's when I went up the high desert, and I got shot with that Mini 14 up there.
This call and/or telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
That was definitely a very, very accurate movie.
Yeah, I actually like Felon. I like it. It's a really good movie. Wow, in a wheelchair like him. Sorry to hear that, bro. Well, yeah, one of the ninjas would say, I guess, I'm assuming I think he's saying he got shot and put in a wheelchair. I got like two homies that are in wheelchairs. Two homies are in wheelchairs from being shot.
Nah.
But you know what? What's crazy
Yeah.
is that one of the guys that's in a wheelchair is probably one of the most successful guys I've ever seen come out of the neighborhood. He's a paralegal, I mean, and he's in a wheelchair. He became a paralegal, and I mean, he's not filthy rich, but did a lot better than a lot of people that were, that he was part of that were able to walk. You know what I mean?
Right.
I always
Right.
respected the dude for that. I was like, man, for a guy who's got a disability holding you back, you're doing more than us that can.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. He
Yeah.
says he got set up and almost killed.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I'll call back, buddy.
With Daryl Poindexter. I'm gonna have to check that out. PNG. I'm gonna have to check that out. PNG. I'm gonna do a live soon, and I'm gonna be reading an article in which it lays out who wrote the original BGF oath. And I know you're gonna love that one, bro. And it's a direct article from George Jackson himself that was published prior to his death, I believe. So when people try to say about first-hand accounts, it is written by George Jackson, and he basically tells you who wrote the original BGF oath and who started it, or what would be called the BGF. Originally, it was called the Black Family, not BGF. But he lays out where the oath comes from.
You will not be charged for this call. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
So, guys, do you guys have any questions you guys want to ask Brant? Opinions on the movie? Yeah. Opinions on the movie? Because I got like 20% remaining on my phone, and we should get probably more than a half hour out of it. But and I don't want to plug in the little lightning thing and have a problem with the other microphone, like how we did earlier. So
and we'll wrap this one up, man. Shoot the questions, folks, in the comments. Let me know.
They were just in a lot of them were just in there. Yeah, a lot of them were just conversating with each other.
Okay, hey, what I wanted to tell the people is that when these other platforms are talking about the violence, like California Uncensored and Hector, they're not telling you guys that it's 90% on SNYs, right? And they're not telling you the label of the yard that it's coming from. And what that does is paint a picture, man, because they're trying to find a way to put us back in the shoe. And like on my channel, I told you guys, this building in Corcoran, it's a quasi-mainline shoe, right? And they're already doing it. And they're using these other dudes' numbers, to try to morph onto us. Just be very careful of that, man. Just whenever if you guys are watching it and they talking about staff assault, well, what yard? SNY or GP? And usually they'll say, oh, it don't fucking matter. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Yes, it does.
And they don't want it to matter. They don't want it to matter, but it does.
Let's ask the viewers. How many of you guys hear these snitch tubers clarifying where the violence is coming from? And do you guys think it matters? Not per se as a blame game, but if we were just being intellectuals and we wanted to look to see an area of where the problem is, to zero in on it like a business, I mean, how many of them clarify where it's coming from, and do you think that it matters? No, I'm from Washington. Oh, Wacko's from Washington. Wow, it's pretty crazy in fucking Washington. The state of Washington. Oh, it's a beautiful state though. Yeah, Miggy does it. He asked the question if you had ever seen Shot Caller, or we talked about it, but you'd never seen it before, have you?
No, I've not seen that one.
Yeah, see, Miggy does it. That's why we didn't talk about it, because he's never seen it, and as soon as he does, we will talk about it.
Yeah, we'll chop it up when I check it out, bud.
Yeah, it's an all right movie. I think it's over exaggerated, completely over exaggerated. I think it's like the American Me for white people. Is there a way for average person can know what kind of yard it is and when hearing reports of violence? Well, you kind of just have to know, right, Brant? I mean, because unless you're gonna
Yeah, you
call,
gotta.
yeah, go on.
Yeah, you kind of just gotta know, or go to their website and look up SOY yards, maybe, or look up GP yards, and just see what the yard classification is. And I know before.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I know before they used to have the designation of the yard on the CDCR websites, but I guess they don't. I don't know if they do anymore, but because they're trying to blend the lines, and when they don't want you guys to know where it's coming from, they're definitely gonna try to hide it. But because I've been in the system so long, I know what's what. I know what's where, and who's what. Who's where. So, but like I said, most of it's coming off these SOY yards.
I want to add something to that. Tim K, usually what I do is when I hear violence, I'll try to find an article that actually zeroes in on what specific yard. Usually if you go read several articles, you might catch one. More than half the time, you'll find an article that actually says what yard it took place on. Then what you could do is just Google that prison and that yard, and just scroll down, and you can even type in SNY or protective custody, and it'll usually pop up with something, some official paperwork from some law enforcement or prison authorities, or just something that's credible that might confirm what it was. You can, I mean, there's ways you can, you can even just Google, like I said, Google that yard. Is it SNY? And there might be some wives on some thread on Reddit or something. They're talking about what it is. But you mean manually is the only way. The only way you're going to do it on your own. CDCR is not going to do it. You're not going to call CDCR,
No.
and they're not going to willingly give you that information. And on top of that, you're going to go through fucking hoops to get it. A common Joe like us can't do it. I mean, maybe we could FOIA it. Maybe you could FOIA it at the end of the year
Right.
from all the prisons, and then do it from like that. But if you're gonna do it individually, you would have to just do it that way. And I mean, take some time instead of watching a snitch tuber and do that. Like I said, spend some endless nights like I do, because that's what I do. Sometimes I'll spend endless nights at a row just reading paperwork. Like the federal
Yeah.
indictment on you guys. I think I went like 3 days of sleepless nights, maybe sleeping 2-3 hours a night, and then going to work the next day, staying up till like 3 in the
Checking it
morning,
out.
4 in the morning reading it.
That's right. That's called dedication to your craft.
Exactly. Well, I mean, the truth
Okay.
is out there. If the truth is out there, it's not going to be laid out in some book, a best-selling book, but the truth is out there.
Right. Yep. Yep.
Flesh
And
stimulator.
if you guys
No. Have you heard of
if
the
you guys
Have you heard of the YouTuber Flesh Stimulator? That sounds interesting. Flesh Stimulator. That sounds like a former porn star.
yeah, flesh stimulator.
Yeah.
Oh
Or
shit, now.
or the name of some high tech dildo. Some fucking wireless dildo.
Flesh stimulator. Gee whiz, man.
Hey, Brent.
But you guys, yeah.
Speaking on dildos,
Hey,
I mean, not to be talking about dildos, but do you know that in this day
no,
and age that you can have your fucking phone sync to your dildo so you can control the vibration through your phone app?
nuh-uh. No.
Broken
That's
Bobby's in the house.
crazy, man. Broken Bobby, what's up, bro? I sent mine to you. Hey, Broken Bobby, you got any input on how YouTube shadow bans? Let me know, man, because I'm curious, because I think they're shadow banning me because I'm a white boy, man. So, let me know, Solid Behind Blue Eyes. You guys go over there and check me out. Subscribe. Check us out. We do a bunch of lives over there. We got a whole bunch already. But anybody has any input on how to get around shadow ban or to catch him shadow banded? Like, let me know, because I don't know nothing about this.
Miss D, let me tell Miss D. Miss D, if you go onto YouTube and just Google, I've been shadow banned, there's several videos on people that walk you through how to find out if you've been shadow banned. But I saw a couple of videos that mentioned something about that you call YouTube support and you tell them that you feel you've been shadow banned. And more or less what they do is they don't tell you that you've been shadow banned or whatever, and they'll just go in there. Oh yeah, well it might have been a problem or whatever, and they fix it, and you'll see your views all of a sudden go up, something like that.
Wow.
But I mean, there's
Okay.
information out there.
Okay.
There's information out there.
Cool. Cool. So, how long you ready to wind this one down, buddy?
Yeah, we'll wind it down. I'm seeing if we have any more questions from anybody. Anyone have anything to say? Yeah. Broken Bobby was just asking if there was any info. You know, he sends his respects, but if there's any news on the fellas, if everything's all right.
Any what?
If there's
How long?
any news on you and the fellas, if everything's all right or anything. Yeah.
No, yeah, everything's like it was, Broken Bobby. We just waiting to see what the feds do, man. I got courted on April 8th, and I don't believe the little fucking scrawny fucking DA for nothing. But I'm gonna make him show us that they did accept us. They forced the Bureau of Prisons to accept us. But we'll see. I don't believe nothing they say, bro. You know what they say? Don't believe nothing you hear, and half of what you see, because your brain will lie to you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
for sure.
But yeah. With that said, I send mine to you guys. Outlaw, thanks again. Everybody, I send mine to the Worthy, Kim K, Broken Bobby, PNG, everybody, man, who tuned in. Baby girl, I love you. I'll be there in a minute. I hear the dinner bell ringing. You know it. Tell that dog don't eat my damn food, because I know he's eyeing my food. All right, man. I'll send my best, Outlaw. I'll hit you back in a second, but
yes,
you guys
sir.
take care, man.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you're not in traffic and you're home. I appreciate you guys. Always awesome to have you guys. Definitely going to be working on better visuals. I'm working on how I could show my face, or somehow how I could show my face without showing my face, if that makes sense. You know, maybe I'll come out like Mundo or rapist boxer Enriquez and, you know, blur my face. But I assure you, I do it for the right reasons. I've said it before. I choose to be a social media ninja. I don't want fame. I'm not here for ego or money or clout or validation. I'm just a simple guy living a simple life. Okay? I'm just tired of listening to the snitch influencers and their bullshit and not scared to call them out. So thank you guys for tuning in. And we will be doing another. And I'm working on a video right now, actually, regarding Big U and the recent arrest and how it relates to American Cholo and a few other social media influencers. So stay tuned, guys. With that said, thank you. Clinch fist salute y venceremos.